Good morning, guys. All I can say is that it is hot out and it's supposed to rain later on. I don't know exactly, but we'll see. I was thinking of getting a haircut today, but I'm off tomorrow, so I'm thinking of just doing it tomorrow. Yeah, I slept pretty good. Woke up at 6, but I didn't get much sleep, so I slept till 8. And it's good because I go in at 10 anyways, so. The thing about not having a car is that I have to wake up 2 hours earlier before going to work. So example, if I go into work at 10, I wake up at 8, get ready, at 8. That way at 9, I could leave towards the bus and be on my way to work. So it usually takes me about half an hour, 40 minutes to get to work. Today is the 4th of July. My manager told me to wear white, blue, and red, but I don't have that, at least not to match it. I don't know where my white pants went, so I just kind of skipped it. She shouldn't be too mad. I wear the same thing every day almost, just because, well, not the same thing under, but the same sweater. And there's a reason why I do that, actually. It's actually because most of my things aren't from Express, and we can't wear anything that's not Express. Well, we could, but as long as it doesn't have like Aeropostale, American Eagle or whatever, as long as it doesn't have the logo, which pretty much about any clothing brand has their own logo on their clothes. So just got off the bus, walking downtown, and I gotta admit, I'm not a big fan of downtown, never have been, and probably never will be. That's why I can't go to New York or live there. Like, my dream place is being in the Colorado mountains by myself and having nothing but nature, me, birds, and that's it. Just peace. I don't want people. I don't want cars. I don't want the city. I don't want none of this. I just want my ideal peaceful life is, well, I'll be honest, when I see homeless people just sitting down, eating. Like last time I saw this homeless dude, he was eating, next to a tree, crisscrossed applesauce, sitting down and just eating. And he had some chips on the side, and he was just looking in the shadow, in the nice grass, just looking, it was a nice day too. It was nice and windy. Not windy. It was nice to see the breeze. And I was like, wow. He has no struggles. Of course, he doesn't have a lot, but he looks so relaxed and so carefree. And that's exactly what I want to have. Crossing the street. But that's what I want to have. And that's why I had to do the city thing. I had to become an entrepreneur. I had to do the things I hate. Because in order to become the person you want, you have to do things that you hate and that are uncomfortable with. And that's what I'm doing. Because for those of you that don't know me, I am originally a quiet person. I don't like talking to people. I like being quiet in my own circle. I don't like coming downtown because there's so many people. There's so much energy and there's so much going on. There's that. More people because of the fact that they don't know how to act. And just people, honestly, because people are what make the city. They are what make a nation. They are what make the world. And I personally don't like people because there's always something wrong about them. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with me, like I was saying yesterday, but the things people do piss me off, Like, I don't know if I do things that piss people off, but if I do, I'm not hurting anyone. Everything that other people do that annoy me are hurting, though, other people. Like, being rude, judging, texting and driving, things like that. Just useless things. And the funny thing about me disliking people is that even though I dislike them and would agree with the 1% that I believe, you know, we should depopularize the world. So if it was up to me, I would cut down the human population by like 60%. Not only will we get rid of the rude people, the mean, the indestructible, and just the ones that are problematic, in this world. But we'd get more nature. We had more things to ourselves. Like if it was up to me, you know, I'll depopularize the world based on how that citizen lives his life. So what does he bring into the world? What does he do? Does he have a criminal record? Does he text and drive? Is he a good citizen? Stuff like that. And if he's bad, cut him off. There's no reason to have useless, rude, selfish people living in this world. I mean, I already live in America, so I already get enough of that every day. Before I have to work, like I said, it's the 4th of July. And the funny thing about the 4th of July is that a lot of Americans believe the Declaration of Independence was signed on the 4th of July, but it was actually on August 2nd. So it's kind of funny. Anyways, I'm headed to work, so I'll see you guys after. Cool, thanks, Mom. I call her Mom basically because during my my freaking shit from store thing, you guys know how I have to look for things, and you know, I don't know the whole store, at least not the women's section, and the women's is pretty much where they order from. Basically, you know, I can't find things, so I ask her, and as soon as she finds it, I'm like, thanks, Mom. Just because you know, like as a kid when I couldn't find things, you know, I would ask my mom, and then from there she'd find them. So that's why I call her Mom. Man, I really miss my shades. It looks like my eyes are getting used to the sun. Anyways, like I said yesterday, I am going to talk about school. Basically, with school, you guys know I'm not a big fan and everything. And I'm not a big fan, well, no, not in the 2018 year, not in the 21st century. College was big and it was important back in the day because, you know, it was important. It was like just barely starting. But now, you know, the college degree is the new high school diploma. It really is. Like, there's not a single well, everyone's graduating college. Everyone. Like, everyone. You know, college, you know, if you were able to go to college back in the day, you got a job right away because only so few people went to college. But college was way easier to go back in the day. You know, like, you could go for a semester, you could go as a full-time student. Yeah, as a full-time student, get a, what's it called? A part-time job, there we go. And they'll still be able to pay their full student, you know, loans. They'll be able to pay all what they owe just by working at a part-time place. You don't do that anymore. You work at a part-time place because you need to work to survive. And meanwhile, you're getting loans to get the, you know, classes paid off, the school books, and all that. Did you know that the school books that you pay $200, $300 bucks for, they only take $2 to $3 to make? Look, I'm a businessman, and it's true. You know, I believe it. Half of the clothes, well, 99% of the things we sell at my store, you know, they're for like 30, 50, 80 bucks. But I know, you know, 90% of them take about 30 cents, $3 the most to make, maybe $5 the most. But yeah, that's called profit, you guys. And that's where I don't agree with college. College is nothing but a business. You know, tell me, well, answer me this. Did the person that created college go to college? That's something to think about. Because it's so true, you know, like, people expect just because you go to college, you're gonna get a, you know, degree and get a job at something you like. Well, guess what? That's not the plan anymore. That's not the promise anymore. You know, there's a teardrop of jobs, and there's a whole handful of graduates. What does that mean to you? I'm not trying to scare you off or anything. I'm just saying if you're going to college, you better have a good reason for it. Because a lot of people go to college, get a degree, work at something that they like, and then they end up hating it because it's not what they expected. That, or they just can't find a job in their degree because, like I said, there's a teardrop of jobs. So, if, people that go to college are considered the most successful people in the world, why is it that, about 8 out of 10 billionaires, millionaires never finish college? Either they never finished college or they dropped out. What does that say about the college system, Just got off the bus. As I was saying before, that dude just came up and got all up in my bubble. Well, as I was saying with the college, well, you guys already heard about the millionaires. Now, let me tell you how school is set up. School doesn't test knowledge, it tests your memory. How well are you able to memorize this shit? And, well, the thing about, there's a lot to school. So, basically, it teaches your memory. And how do I mean? Basically, they teach you some things, like an assignment, whatever, history, for example. And then it gives you, like, when did this happen in that date? Who did this? Who did that? And then they give you a test, and then you have to study that test. And, well, they give you, I forgot what it is, so for you to look at, like a cheat sheet. But, they give you that, and then to see if you pass the class, you have to pass this test. So, in other words, you have to memorize everything you learned, or at least the most important things, and hopefully you memorize them. And that determines if you're smart or not. Now, I'm not a big fan of that at all, just because it's so stupid. Like, everyone that I talk to, they're like, oh yeah, like I have a 3.0, I have a 2 point some, 4.0, this and that. I'm like, dude, I could get a 4.0, like with my left hand. For those of you that don't know that, it's a saying that my uncle always used to say. I never met him, he's in Mexico, but he's like, they would ask him something, like, are you sure you can do that, this and that? And he's like, shh, hasta con la zurda. And he's like, shh, even with my left. In other words, that's how easy it is for him to do it. And yeah, like, I could do all those grades and stuff with my left. It's so easy. Like, all these things are just memorization. They're not, I'm an entrepreneur. So for me, just memorizing, studying, and memorizing, that's easy. It's cake. I've done it numerous times. Like, hell, I know the Hamlet speech because, well, 3/4 of it, at least what they made us learn, that just proves how good my memory is. My memory isn't as good as it used to be because, but I still have a pretty good memory. And school teaches that, like, subconsciously, whatever they're telling you, you're accepting it. Like, because as a kid, you had, like, so many questions, like, what does that do? Why? Where does that come from? Like, who made the pyramids? Why did they make them? Why are they that color? Where do they come from? How do they make them? Things like that, like. And the thing about I was gonna say clue, because I was gonna say class, but school, so clue. But school pretty much just teaches, like history, but it teaches you so many unimportant shit that's not worth it. And you're just like, and then they give you answers and you're like, oh, that's what it is. Yeah. Versus, like, for me, actual knowledge is like being able to get out of situations that you don't have the resources for. That's what Napoleon Hill says. Like, knowledge is information. No, excuse that. School teaches information that you're never going to use again. And knowledge is something that you keep using it and that you're going to, find important in this life. Like, this life runs on 3 things. And that is communication, money, and economics. Three things. So pretty much business, money, and talking. And it's so true. Like if you don't have those skills for, you know, communication skills, financial skills, or economic skills, like, well, business-wise, you're not gonna make it in this life. Trust me, you're not. So that's one other thing I don't agree with school. You know, the cost, the books, everything. Like, college has become more of a business than it has as an education place. And I hope to make my school someday also, because, are you kidding, guys? The paychecks and everything, they are good. Like, Trump has a university, it's called Trump University, and I have no idea how much money he makes, but are you kidding? Like, each student pays about, what, $6,000 just for one semester, times 4, that's 24,000, around there, per student every 4 years. Times that times 1,000, that's over $240,000 on just 100 students. And each college carries like, I don't know, I don't even know, and I don't care. But that's what I gotta say about school. So if you're gonna go to school, you know, there's really no need to go to school unless you're gonna become a professor, an engineer, or a doctor. Everything else you can learn on your own. So that's all I gotta say about school. I'm gonna go home right now. Basically, that's all I want to say today. Just because I took enough time from you guys, and I don't want to make this video any longer. Happy 4th of July. I might record later. If not, I will see you guys tomorrow. And happy 4th.